Welcome into Studio B and welcome into this all levels flow practice that is entitled Like Riding a Bike. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to embrace the spirit of play and make lots of circles and wheels in today's practice. So let's begin at the back of our mat in child's pose. Big toes touching, knees apart, arms extended forward for about 30 seconds of grounding as we listen in and lay the groundwork for this practice. After almost 2 decades, I bought a bike. Riding it has been nothing short of delightful. The ability to say yes when my children ask me to join them on a bike ride or to cycle my way to soccer practice or the yoga studio has been at once liberating and a return to the simple joys of childhood. Walk your hands over to the right, opening up some space in the left side body. As children, we often biked to our friends' houses, or we biked in small groups, as well as all alone. We cycled around our neighborhoods and streets aimlessly, soaking up our freedom. Walk your hands over to the left, opening up space in the right side body. And if we allow it to, our yoga practice can feel quite similar to riding a bike. A space to connect with friends and community, an expression of solidarity, and a vehicle towards personal freedom. Let's walk the hands back to center and begin our opening flow. So as you inhale, you're going to shift forward, roll over the knees, keep the big toes together, drop the pelvis, pull the heart forward, find a bird bath position. And then drop the shins, look over your right shoulder, dropping your left hip, getting a nice deep back bend. Look over your left shoulder, drop the right hip. Push the floor away, round into cat pose. And then big toes together, child's. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, rolling over the knees, finding your bird bath, a version of Kapotasana. Drop the shins, look over the right and the left. Push the earth away, round cat. Big toes together, child's. Twice more, welcoming in that circular wheel-like energy of bird bath. Drop the shins, look right. We are moving towards wheel pose in this practice. Cat, child's. Last time through, roll over the knees, bird bath, making that wheel shape. Drop the shins, look to the right. You've got it now, left. Cat pose. Stay on all fours, find a neutral spine, elongate that right leg and that left arm, extended table. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, sweep around, find the top of the foot. Feel the toes pushing up towards the ceiling, taking 3 breaths, extended table. This is a shape that you'll feel a couple times in this practice, all moving towards wheel pose as we embrace this bicycle theme. Keep the right toes and right knee, tuck it behind the left, release the right foot, and then lean back into the hips. So you're going to feel that outer hip stretch. So you could just come a few inches back. If you have the space to totally release the hips, you could find Gomukhasana legs here for 3. 2. And 1. Walking the hands forward, and we're going to make big half circles with that right leg. So straighten the right knee. Imagine you have a crayon attached to your right toes, and lift that right leg up, over, and around, making big semicircles up and cross. Do that twice more. Up, making as big of a movement as you can. Up, across, and down. Once more, up and open, letting yourself have a little bit more playful energy in the practice. Coming back up with that right leg, lower the right knee, a couple rounds of cat and cow. So when we hear the phrase, it's just like riding a bike, there's this assumption embedded in that phrase that once a skill is learned, that it's never forgotten, that it's easy to come back to. Let's come back to a neutral spine. And elongate that left leg and the right arm. Finding that extended table, inhale, get longer. Exhale, Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward half bow. Finding the top of the left foot, push the toes to the ceiling. Push the earth away through the left palm, finding more space through the neck and the head. But in my experience, that's a little bit too simplistic to just think that once you learn a skill, it's never forgotten, always easy. Tuck the left knee behind the right, release the foot, and then leaning back, find that outer hip stretch, either just by coming a few inches back or full Gomukhasana legs here. Because the truth is the first time I got back on a bike after almost 2 decades of being off of one, it was not easy. There was a lot of uncertainty. The skills were there, but man, were they rusty. Walk forward. Imagine that big toe connected to your left, or big crayon rather, attached to those left toes. Lift up, open, and then up and cross. Really making that as big of a semicircle as possible. Yeah, one more. And so it's true that I did still know how to ride a bike, but it wasn't smooth or without its complications. Take a few cat and cows. Getting back on the bike felt pretty strange, foreign, uncertain. And it really required me to embrace my beginner's mind and just kind of slowly dust off those old skills, return to that old skillfulness. Let's tuck the toes, find our first downward facing dog. You guessed it, you're gonna bicycle, pedal those feet a few times back and forth, coaxing open the hamstrings. Maybe let the pelvis kind of shift from side to side. And so I want you to bring in that kind of playful spirit of, yeah, maybe there's some poses that are new to you tonight. Maybe they're poses that you've done before, but they're feeling a little rusty. Walk your feet forward, Uttanasana. We'll take 3 sun salutations. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold in. Circle sweep those arms out and up. Palms together. You know, even the sun salutations, we're going to do 3 rounds, classic 12 movement sun salutations. Maybe it's been a few days since you've done them. Maybe it's been a few weeks. They may feel a little bit rusty. See if you can kind of dust that off, embrace that beginner's mind, return to that skillfulness that's still embedded in the body. The body remembers. Inhale, arms long. Exhale, palms together, 1. Reaching forward, up and back is 2. Folding over the legs, 3. Left foot back, left knee down. Reach those arms up, 4. Keeping it smooth and simple, 5. 6, chaturanga. Up dog, Urdhva Mukha, 7. Adho Mukha, 8. Anjaneyasana, 9. Uttanasana, 10. Uttanasana, 11. 12, Tadasana. Inhale, tall. Exhale, round 2. Here we go. Forward, up and back. Fold. Right foot back, right knee down. The body remembers, even if it's rusty. Down dog. Just like riding a bike, forward and down. Trusting the body. Down dog. Right foot. Left foot. Feeling free, the way you feel free when you're on that bike. Lengthen the arms. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Lengthening the arms, Maybe adjusting the clothing, getting a sip of water, pausing for about a 30-second micro meditation in the midst of your practice. A moment to remember that we're allowed to just have fun in our practice. The way we may get on our bikes and just ride around aimlessly for the joy of it. We're allowed to just enjoy being in the body, moving as we are. Move into our flow. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Folding over the legs. Walk the feet back, downward facing dog. So imagine your right leg is pedaling the pedal of a bike. You're going up a big hill. You have to use lots of energy, lots of muscular strength. Float the right leg up, three-legged dog, and then shift forward. Right knee slides down the back of the right arm, pedal back and up. Do that 3 more times. Shift forward, pedal down, back. Maybe you have to stand up to pedal because it's steep, it's hard. Press back and up. Land in crocodile, forward, shin down. Take a back bend, lean up. And then reach back. Lift the shin, right hand to left foot. Now you could stay up on the left hand, staying upright, or if you have the space to lower to the forearm, soften the right elbow, that's it, and draw the left heel towards the glute. So the reason why we're doing this, we're moving towards Urdhva Dhanurasana wheel pose, so we need access to the front of the body, the quadriceps and the hip flexors. 1 more breath here, and then release the back shin. Push down through the mat. We're coming up to high lunge. Right foot in between the thumbs. Sweep the arms up. Your right arm is like the big wheel of your bike. Sweep back, down, forward, and up. Take that twice more. Big wheel-like circles with that right arm. 3rd time, right fingertips. Find the back of the left thigh. Lean back, big breath. Settle in. Big breath. Now here's a really big transition to half moon. Windmill the arms forward. Right fingertips down. Left leg up. Urdhva Chandrasana. Staying here is an option, or bend the left knee. Find the top of the foot. Urdhva Chandra Chopasana, sugar cane. Push the foot into the hand, open it up. Just letting the body be where it is in the practice. You don't have to have a destination. Square the shoulders and the hips towards the mat, closing up the pose. Soften your standing knee. Start to lift your gaze upwards as we rise to Natarajasana. Right arm lifts, come to stand. Push the foot into the hand. King dancer, breathing. Lower your left foot, hip distance apart. Sit down in a wide stanced chair pose, Utkatasana. Big breath in and fold. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see this. We're prepping for Kanjanasana. So widen your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Start to soften your knees and drop your hips parallel to the floor. Take your arms, wrap them around and cup the back of your heels. Push the hands into the back of the heels. As you drop your seat, allow the collarbones to broaden and smile. 2. Kanjanasana is the tail wagging pose. Let it be fun. Inhale. Take a vinyasa. Hands forward, walk the feet back, down dog. Shift forward to plank. We're going to come all the way to the floor, lower down. Bring the arms alongside your body. Locust variation, palms down. Untuck your toes. Lift the head, neck, chest, and shoulders. Big breath here. 1 more breath in. Bring the palms under the shoulders. Press up and back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. So we're allowing our practice, just don't overthink it. Just like riding a bike, there's a simplicity to the joy, the happiness, the pleasure that comes from hopping on those 2 wheels and letting them take you on an adventure, maybe an undetermined adventure. Lift your left leg up, three-legged dog, and you're going to start to pedal it out. Shift forward, left knee slides behind the back of the left arm, press back and up. And forward, down, back and up. 2 more, forward. Maybe you got to stand up on that bike. Push, 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 it's steep, it's steep, it's steep. Crocodile. Ah, you made it. Back bend. And then we're finding that bind. So right palm stays down, shin lifts, you know where you're going. Left hand to right foot. Now you could stay here or melt to the forearm. This is all about prepping for the back bend. So we need to be opening up the quad and the hip flexor. Big breath in. And then we're finding our high lunge. So release the shin. I'm going to power down. So I push down to lift up. Push down through the hands, lift up through the pelvis and the core, left foot forward, and then I rise up, high lunge, and that left arm becomes that wheel. Spin it around. Whoop. And then up and around. Third time, left fingertips are going to find the back of the right thigh. Lean back, big breath. Windmill it forward, half moon. Left fingertips down, right leg up. You could stay here or find Urdhva Dhanurasana, sugar cane, opening it up. There's another version of that wheel right here. Square the shoulders and the hips to the mat. Soften the standing knee. Rise up, Natarajasana. Push the foot into the hand. Here you go. Wide stance to Utkatasana. Feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Inhale. Sit down. Big breath in. Fold forward. Kanjanasana prep. So I'm just turning towards you so you can see this. Widen the feet a little bit more than hip distance. Soften the knees. Take the arms, wrap them behind the heels. Drop the pelvis parallel to the floor. Pick up those heels, balance. Let your fingers wrap around and under the heels. Smile those collarbones. Tail wagging pose. Kanjanasana. One more inhale, hello legs. And then Vinyasa it out. Walk those hands forward, feet back. Shift it forward, plank. Come to the mat. Locust variation. Palms down alongside you. Lift the head, neck, shoulders, and chest. Option to lift the legs, hovering. Locust Shalabhasana. Palms underneath the shoulders, flex the feet. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. I found a quote that made me giggle. It said, "A bicycle is a mobile device that charges you." Most of us walk around and we're like, where's the charger? My phone's about to die. My iPad's about to die. My AirPods are dying. And yet we have access to this mobile device called a bicycle that actually can charge us up. We'll take this sequence once more on each side, keeping it fluid and soft, maybe a few add-ons. Float that right leg up. Here we go, pedaling up that hill. Shift it forward, slide it down the back of the arm, press back and up. Forward, big pedaling circle. Big ol' wheel here, forward and back. Last time you land in your crocodile, shin down. Find your back bend, maybe a chest expansion here, interlacing the fingers. And then left hand comes forward. Shin lifts, right hand to left foot. Come down to the forearm, pull that left heel in, big breath. Push the floor away, rising to that high lunge. And then as the arms lift, right arm embraces that big circular wheel energy. Whoop. Right fingertips to the back of the left thigh. Lean in. Hello, hip flexor. I don't know if yours is talking to you. Mine is talking to me. Half moon pose. Right fingertips. Left leg flies. Urdhva Dhanurasana, sugar cane. Open it up, another option to find that wheel shape. And then squaring shoulders and hips, aware of the transition, rising up. If you're coming higher into Dhanurasana, you may flip your grip to the big toe side. Push. Big breath. Chair. Feet hip distance apart. We're taking a nice broad stance. Keep it flowing. No Kanchanasana prep here. Fold. Straight into the Vinyasa, half lift. Step or flow it out. Finding that Shalabhasana, arms down, chest and legs up. Full breath in. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, 3. 2. 1. Looking forward, lifting that left leg, bicycling up that hill, left knee to the back of the tricep, slide it down, push it back and up. 2 more. And up. And forward, really pushing, we're almost there. This time you land in that crocodile, left shin down. Find your back bend, maybe a chest expansion, open it up. And then lift the back shin, either staying upright or lowering down, taking in that opportunity to prepare the body for what's to come. Maybe just reminding yourself, it's okay to do something just because it's fun. Press the floor away. Come up to your high lunge and let that left arm become that big wheel-like circle, sweeping around, that cycling energy. A 3rd time, left fingertips, find the back of the right thigh, lean back, and then let that propel you forward as you find your half moon. Option to open it up into another wheel shape here, Chopasana. And then you making that mindful transition up to Dhanurasana, maybe flipping your grip, pushing the foot into the hand. And then sitting down, that deep chair where your tail goes back and down, preparing for Kanchanasana, which is coming up in just a bit. Fold forward, Vinyasa, half lift. Step or float it back. Moving through to the floor. Shalabhasana, palms down, chest and legs lift. And then palms down, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So Kanchanasana is a relatively new pose that I've discovered. Hop your feet to the center of the mat, about the width of the mat. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see this. Kanchanasana, as I mentioned earlier, means tail wagging pose. So imagine a really happy puppy and how their tail is moving back and forth. We don't have to move our tails, but we sure want our tails backing out in this pose. So you can see I have a pretty broad stance. I'm going to inhale, circle sweep my arms out and up, and then fold forward. Bend my knees so that my hips are actually parallel to the floor. Take my arms, and I'm going to try to get my shoulders in line with my inner knees, hands to the backs of my heels. Then just as we did in the second preparation, peel the heels up off the mat and cup the backs of my heels. Let my seat drop, my collarbones smile. Final option, arms can come forward like I'm radiating fire forward, or they can sweep back like they're additional tail feathers. So I'll turn sideways so you can see this. Maybe you've done it once, you want to give it a second go. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Wrap the arms, shoulders trying to come to the inner knees. Find the back of the heels. Peel them away, cup the back of the heels. Drop the pelvis, lift the collarbones, smile. Option to take your hands forward like fire or additional tail feathers. Woo! And then Vinyasa. Woo! Anybody else feeling their legs? Me. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Jump it all the way through. And come to your back. We're going to bicycle it out. supine bicycles. As you find your spine, take your palms, place them underneath your buttocks, an extra layer of support. You're gonna want it. Lengthen your legs forward. And then we're gonna create a capital L here. So flexing the feet, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling, hover your right leg. Now bring right knee into the chest, left leg lowers. Switch, left knee in, right leg up, and lowers. And we're bicycling for 10, 9, slow on purpose, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. See if you can find the joy in the cycling, even if it's a little hard. 2, 1, you get to reverse. Left knee in, right leg up, pedaling backwards. 9, 8, 7, you're doing amazing. This is hard. 5, 4, 3, can you let it be fun? Not a competition. 3, 2, even if on your bike ride you hit a hill, you got to go up it. 1, knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. You did it. Moving towards that wheel pose, we're going to prep with a bridge pose first. So feet down, about hip distance apart. Palms down alongside you, looking up to the ceiling, big inhalation. Exhale, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, pushing down to lift up. You could stay here with the palms pushing down. This is what we did in all of those locusts. Or if you'd like to do that chest expansion, roll the shoulders onto the back, interlace the fingers, and feel the chest rise towards the chin. How's the breath? Gently releasing the hands, rolling down. Widening the feet the width of your mat. Place the hands on the lower abdomen, inner knees together, resting pose. So we don't want to reverse out of the back bend because we're gearing up for wheel pose. But we do want to give ourselves a moment of pause in between, okay? So we don't want to go the other direction yet. We do want to give a time to let the body settle. Now you could repeat the bridge that we just did. If you'd like to do the wheel pose, bring the feet back in approximately hip distance apart, knowing there may be some variability for your body and the placement of the feet. For wheel pose, reach the arms up, bend the elbows, palms by the ears. The elbows should be pointed approximately up towards the ceiling. Give yourself a full breath in. As you exhale, pop up to the top of the head. And then inhale, push all the way up, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Feel the power in the legs as the shins pull back to power the heart forward. Let the scapula, the shoulder blades, come together on the back so the front of the heart space can open up. Let the throat open. Feel strength in the elbows. One more inhale. And then a controlled descent to resting pose. Again, take the feet wide, inner knees together, hands to lower abdomen, feeling the breath. Letting the energy, like a snow globe that you just turned upside down, let that settle back down. And then reclined pigeon pose, taking the right ankle over the left knee, interlacing the hands behind the left thigh, hug it in. I often find a little swaying here. Feels really good. You may prefer stillness. They're both correct. And then let the legs fall over to the left. Figure 4 twist. I often like to take my left hand and just gently hold my outer right foot here, kind of locking in the shape, and then rolling my gaze towards that right arm. So the implication when you hear that phrase, it's just like riding a bike, is that it's simple, easy, and unforgettable. And the truth is that returning to an old skill may be scary, messy. You may fall, mess up. It can be fraught with uncertainty. Let's bring the head and the body back into center, giving yourself a brief pause here to just hug yourself in the middle. And so ultimately, just like riding a bike, is a reminder to hold on to that beginner's mind. Left ankle over right knee, reclined pigeon. To being willing to be a kid again. To staying in touch with our playfulness, being willing to learn new things and fail in the process. Drop the legs over to the right. Maybe the right hand finds the outer left foot just to seal in the shape. And then the gaze just kind of rolls over to the left. There's also nothing quite as simplistic and joyful as the freedom of riding a bike. With nowhere in particular you need to be, just taking it in. Making your way to Shavasana for about 90 seconds of relaxation. Congratulating the body for showing up and doing whatever it was that it did today. Knowing that rest is not a reward. It's the foundation of the practice itself. Enjoy it. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana for an extended period of time, you're welcome to do so. If this is the time you dedicated for practice, allow the breath to deepen and subtle movement to enter the body. And then in your own way and in your own time, coming back up to a comfortable seat. If we allow it to, our yoga practice can feel quite similar to riding a bike. It can be a practice to remember our innate abilities, our innate wisdom. It can be a space to connect with friends and community. And a vehicle to move towards personal freedom. Please bring your hands either onto your body in a gesture of gratitude or bring the palms together in heart center. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, which in Sanskrit sounds like this. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Victory to our practice.